Horizon Media het reeds 'n week gelede berig oor inwoners van die Pausdien-gemeenskap in Postmasburg, wie se huise oorstroom het na swaar reënval. Die afgelope week het die situasie egter so ontwikkel dat die water nou amper as permanente inwoner geregistreer kan word. Tydens 'n besoek vandag aan die Pausdien-gemeenskap het inwoners die kort pouse in die reën gebruik om modder uit hulle huise te vee en weer 'n mate van orde te probeer herstel, net betyds dat die volgende wolk sy beurt kry. By sekere sinkhuise stroom selfs rioolwater tot binne in slaapkamers. Dis nou wat 'n mens noem 'n oopplan leefstyl, kombuis, badkamer en slaapkamer alles in een. Navraag aan die burgemeester van Tsansabani het bevestig dat die munisipaliteit bewus is van die situasie in Pausdien en dat 'n dringende vergadering met rolspelers belê is. Met ander woorde, mense gaan bymekaar kom, bid, ernstig kyk na foto's van huise onder water, notaboeke oopmaak en beloof om weer 'n volgende keer bymekaar te kom. Intussen skitter baie plaaslike myne se SLP's in netjiese verslae by die Departement van Minerale en Energie in die Noord-Kaap. En waag jy dit om hulle aan te vat, is 'n hofinterdik 'n middel om jou mond te snoer. Maar kom ons wees eerlik met mekaar. Die reën is nie die werklike probleem nie. Reën doen maar net wat hy al eeue lank doen. Hy val, dis sy werk. Maar niemand kla as die son opkom met hoekom skyn die son alweer vandag? Die groter probleem is dat grond soms gevat word soos gratis samples by 'n supermark. Vandag is dit 'n oop erf, môre staan daar 2 sinkhuise, 3 heininge en iemand vra wanneer kom die wifi. Daarna word munisipale dienste soos water en elektrisiteit geëis asof Eskom en die waterpype agter op 'n bakkie lê en wag om afgelaai te word. Wanneer die munisipaliteit dan probeer orde bring en sê hier moet 'n straat loop, is die antwoord dikwels dis reg, laat die straat dwars deur my huis loop. Dan begin die moeilikheid wanneer mense hoor hulle woning is in die middel van 'n beplande pad, op 'n stormwaterlyn of presies waar die kragtransformator moet staan. Weens die volgehoue ignorering van bouregulasies en munisipale bywette word strukture dan links en regs opgerig. Wanneer die reën dan kom, herinner die natuur ons dat hy nie title deeds kan lees nie, en dan is die burgemeester en munisipale bestuurder en hul raad skielik die hoofverdagtes. Hierdie uitdaging is natuurlik nie uniek tot Postmasburg nie. Dis 'n nasionale sport, vat jou grond, bou sonder munisipale regulasies, dink later, blameer onmiddellik. Bywette en bouregulasies bestaan vir 'n rede. Reënval wat lank voor enige raadslid, inwoner of Facebook bestaan het, gaan nie ophou omdat een mens of 'n paar mense ongelukkig is nie. Die oplossing lê in behoorlike beplanning, verantwoordelike ontwikkeling en die eenvoudige revolusionêre idee om nie in 'n sloot of bo op 'n watertafel te bou nie. Intussen is boere baie dankbaar vir die reën, want terwyl inwoners modder uitskep, weet hulle, later die jaar eet ons almal watlemoen en niemand dink daaraan dat munisipale bywette en bouregulasies daar is vir 'n rede nie. Intussen moet die agbare burgemeester, die munisipale bestuurder, die verkose raadslede die blame dra omdat mense se huise oorspoel. 'n Plaaslike regskenner het bevestig dat die reën as hoofbeskuldigde glad nie deel is van die ondersoek nie.
Still in Postmasburg. Yesterday morning, a man lost control of his car and ended up in a river. The vehicle landed upside down in the water. Thanks to the quick response of people passing the accident scene, the man was rescued from the car. Had they not acted swiftly, the outcome could have been far worse. According to video footage, the man suffered no injuries. Reliable sources say he refused medical assistance, although local emergencies still took him to the hospital. It is only by the grace of God that he survived, together with the rapid response of bystanders who came to his aid. No heavy truck was involved in this accident. However, just last week, another man died in a tragic accident involving a truck transporting minerals. It is clear that the Tsansebani Traffic Department is under-resourced to manage the growing number of trucks on these roads. Meanwhile, trucking companies continue to make significant profits from local mines, yet to date no truck driver or trucking company has appeared in court following fatal accidents in which lives were lost. In the meantime, the people of Postmasburg continue to hold their breath, waiting for the next tragic truck accident, while these companies smile all the way to the bank. The people of Tsansebani will eventually reach the point where no mining truck will be allowed passing through Postmasburg. For now, the pot is boiling on the stove.
Teachers' unions are calling for tighter school security as crime at schools continues to rise across South Africa. The National Professional Teachers Organisation of South Africa, known as NAPTOSA, says teachers and learners are increasingly being targeted by criminals on school grounds. According to Executive Director Basil Manuel, many teachers have reported robberies and violence, but often fear opening police cases because of possible harassment or retaliation. He says the impact is serious, with many skilled teachers leaving unsafe schools for better environments, leaving learners and communities to suffer. In Western Cape, the Western Cape Education Department says school safety remains a top priority, but law enforcement cannot be the responsibility of schools alone. The department says police, community forums, the justice system, and local organizations must all work together. This year, more than 72 million rand has been allocated for school safety, including fencing, alarms, metal detectors, and access control systems. As crime continues to threaten education, unions say urgent action is needed to protect teachers, learners, and the future of South Africa's schools.
The unwavering commitment of the Namakwa district team to curb drug-related activities in the district resulted in the arrest of a 28-year-old male during the early hours of Saturday morning, 25 April 2026. At approximately 5 minutes past 12, members were conducting operations in 7th Avenue, Carolsberg, when they encountered a male individual who became rebellious and obstructing the police from executing their duties and was subsequently arrested. While en route to be processed, members noticed the suspect acted suspicious in the back of the police vehicle. Upon arrival at the police station, the suspect was removed from the vehicle, and after thoroughly searching him, they discovered Ziploc bags containing dagga and cash believed to be proceeds from the alleged drug sales in his possession. The District Commissioner Brigadier Skalk commended the members for the vigilance and professionalism, emphasizing that drug-related activities will not be tolerated in the Namakwa district.